In this video, we are going to look at fixing the offensive line, particularly look at some things that pertain to the run game. My opinion, the Ravens will need to get away from the read option as a staple if they want success in the run game moving forward, if they want a shot at challenging the upper echelon teams in the postseason, assuming they make it that far. They simply do not have the backs or the O-line personnel to have success with read option, the read option game as the run game's mainstay. And there is way too much pressure, I believe, placed on the shoulders of Lamar, given the downgraded personnel that's around him. He's taken too many hits. The opposition, in some respects, has come up with a plan and is mitigating the read option. I believe the Ravens will need to simplify with traps, ISOs, double teams up front, in particular, double teams up front to generate movement, more inside zone, duo, and the like. I believe they need to get Pat Ricard coming downhill, leaning on second-level defenders all afternoon and minimize the split zone kickouts. We're not going to likely gash teams, but we're going to pick up 3-4 consistently. These will turn into bigger gains later, and we're going to extend drives. And I think a big part of the defense's success is the extended drive, or has been. They're going to sprinkle in outside zone read option or counter gap stuff, but we have to be able to lean on guys, have to be able to move bodies and to get this run game going. Here's a pretty good example of what I'm talking about in terms of simplifying. 22 personnel, you got Pat offset from the quarterback coming down one-on-one and laying it on this linebacker. The rest of the line's not messing around with pulls. Both of the edges are locked. You get a one-on-one block here with the guard, but you get two double teams, and I think a nice climb here from the right guard. Yep, you're just taking double teams, making sure you get movement or lanes to run through, and here comes Pat downhill. Backs is just quick hitting, reading off the center's hip, which A-gap he hits, and you get 8 yards. This is just an overhead of the same play, and I just want us to see the movement, the kind of movement we're generating here with double teams. We just don't get this kind of movement. Here's the center and the guard absolutely mashing that nose tackle, and then you get a climb from the guard, and you see Pat coming downhill to hit this linebacker, and the back just hits that hole quickly. Interesting play they ran versus Chicago. I think I saw them use it versus Minnesota as well, where they line, again, out of 22 personnel against a 3-man front. They line up a tight end as a sniffer here, and then they get Pat coming downhill. They're going to free release and have this sniffer come across and wham block the nose. They're going to invite this nose upfield. He falls for that. Watch him get upfield. And then the sniffer comes across, 85 comes across. You see this big gap open up. And Ricard coming downhill once again. Watch this happen. That when they need that more, in my opinion, just the idea of Pat coming down and being a fullback. What else do we got going here? Locks on the outside, 2 double teams. This, to me, I guess I'll keep beating that drum, is really the Ravens' game plan moving forward. They'll sprinkle in some of the zone stuff, outside zone, that is, and some of the read, but I look for them to go to a lot of inside zone, double teams, traps and whams, and getting Pat coming downhill. Here's essentially the same play, but against a 4-3 over front. They're going to invite this nose guard up so 85 can come over and trap, or in this case, wham him. They're going to notice that they'll get 3 double teams going here. Watch this. And a good climb by Bozeman, a good read by the back. But again, you get Pat coming downhill, isolated on a linebacker. Bam. Let's watch these double teams. 89, 74. Watch the linebacker here kind of drift or coast over the top And I think Bell's reading that as well. Bozeman does a good job coming off that block, really moving the 3-tech along with Zeitler right here. But again, you see 3 double teams, this wham block on the nose, and against a 4-man front. I think we pick up 8 here as well. And once again, Pat Ricard coming downhill. Same play, slightly different wrinkle. They've motioned Nick Boyle across this time, and they end up bringing him back, settling him in the sniffer role. They also kind of skip pull Bozeman, the center here, to get a double team. Again, they're trying to invite this center upfield that they might trap him or wham him, specifically with Nick this time. This guy slides over a gap rather than coming upfield, kind of blows this play up. You get a lot of movement, again, with Pat coming downhill. Watch his block. But I think this offense needs to be okay with some 2-yard gains. You don't want to get in anything more than 3rd and 6 with this offensive line in terms of protection, generally speaking. What else is going on here? You get locks on the outside. Not as many double teams here. That's just a little clunky, I think. But he's trying to get to this backside linebacker.